Hello everyone, my name is Michael Dunphy, bringing you back another video to YouTube and my channel. Now today is going to be something very new that I'm going to do. Now I have never done this before on my channel before, and it's kind of really exciting since I get to go around the world, well not explore around the world, but actually get to respond to other YouTubers. What I mean by that is that this video is sort of like a response video to another YouTuber that has to do with the Arkham games. And since this YouTuber is talking about the season of Infamy and the boss battles leading up to the season of Infamy, and he did this video called, I think it was called How to Make a Good Boss Battle. And this was leading up to the season of Infamy because the season of Infamy was going to be very boss battle X. Like, what I mean by it means it's going to be like full boss battles, because Mad Hatter, Killer Croc, Ra's al Ghul, Mr. Freeze, I think pretty much all four of them. I'm not sure about Mad Hatter, but we definitely know there's going to be some boss battles, and it's been confirmed that there's going to be boss battles in the game. Except for Mad Hatter, I don't know. The only thing we know about him is that he's going to be brainwashing the G2PD officers. This is a response video to slcmof. Now slcmof, if you don't know who he is, he's an Arkham YouTuber in the Arkham community, and he does some Call of Duty videos, which is pretty cool. I mean, like, I don't like Call of Duty that much, but he likes it. That's good for you, man. I mean, like, anyway. He's an Arkham YouTuber, and he recently did a How to Make a Good Boss Battle, which is leading up to the season of Infamy, which is the expansion DLC pack, which has 4 most wanted missions that would include the 4 villains: Mad Hatter, Mr. Freeze, Ra's al Ghul, and Killer Croc, which will pretty much all of them, I think all of them will probably have boss battles. Like I said, I'm not sure about Mad Hatter. But this is a response video, and I'm going to respond to that on how to make a good boss battle. And this is my opinion on how to make a good boss battle. And it's going to be leading up to the season of Infamy, because I'm very excited about the season of Infamy, because it's one of the most exciting things about Battle Arkham Knight. It's probably going to be the best expansion pack for Battle Arkham Knight. I mean, like, we only had the season pass, which is kind of an expansion, but it's kind of not. It's probably going to be the best story lines. I mean, like, if you talk about side missions, it's probably going to be the best stories in terms of DLC. So, this is the video on how to make a good boss battle leading up to the season of Infamy. What is a boss battle? A boss battle is when you encounter this tougher, meaner, and even more, probably more superior, like, enemy to you than you. This is how we call him a boss. Someone who's much tougher and can easily beat you down, and can take you down a lot more easier. But you need to be careful. And so he's sort of like this enemy when you've been fighting these enemies, these regular goons in the game, and when you have this massive one, that's when you call it a boss, and that's why it's called a boss battle. There are problems in the Arkham games that they don't seem to get around at times. For example, the Joker boss battle when in Arkham Asylum, when he turns into a roided out, let's say, Titan Joker, I know, very crazy. When he turns into that, he's basically like Hulk, except he's not green. Problem with the boss battle, you're not actually fighting him. Most of the time you're fighting his goons, which is kind of weird, since why is it called a boss battle when you're not fighting him as the boss? Well, he's the boss, but you're not the boss. This is a problem with this boss battle, because when the boss battle actually has a focus on the goons instead of the boss, it's very ironic and not very intriguing, since you've been fighting these other goons throughout the game, and it has a novelty of getting very stale. While this boss battle, it's new, it's fresh, and you want to beat him, and that's the things what makes a boss battle very special, is when you actually want to beat this boss battle because he's meaner, and when you actually beat him, it's actually very rewarding when you beat him. So yes, the Joker boss battle in Arkham Asylum didn't do that at all. Same with the Poison Ivy boss battle. You didn't actually get to fight her a bit. I mean, like, you fight her some parts of the enemies, but you only used explosive gel on her plant-like monster that she's using. And that's it. Most of the time you're fighting as goons, and that's pretty stale if I'm going to be honest with you. A brilliant example, with two examples I have here, with the Mr. Freeze boss battle, which is of course is one of the best, if not the best, Arkham boss battle of all time. Now what makes it so special is that you're actually fighting this boss, you're actually fighting Mr. Freeze. Like, it's just, if you think about it, it's just Batman and Mr. Freeze. There's no other goons around, there's no other people around you, there's no one else trying to stop you, it's just them fighting on. Like, they're not actually doing fist fighting, but because Mr. Freeze is too powerful for Batman to take down in a fist fight. So yeah, I'll get into the other point in the Mr. Freeze boss battle, but for now, what makes it so special is that you're actually just fighting him. The other boss battle, which is Deathstroke. Now what makes Deathstroke so cool is that you're actually just fighting him. It's a hand-to-hand combat, which actually fits the personality and the character of Deathstroke, because Deathstroke is not in a tank. Arkham Knight put Deathstroke in a tank. Yeah. But the Arkham Origins boss battle was good enough to actually, it wasn't afraid to actually show, like, it was like fighting a goon, except Deathstroke is amazing at martial artists. He studies his tactics, his predator abilities, and he's very good at hand-to-hand combat, and his fast reflexes make it more of a challenge. Number 2. Don't make the boss battles repetitive. What I mean by this is that the Arkham boss battles, well, most of them, not all of them, but most of them have novelty of being repetitive. Let's say gimmicky, for say, like you fire this, like what you do is that if you want to take down this boss battle, you just take down, like, hey, use this battle round to take down a certain area of the body of this boss battle, and then you win. That feels gimmicky, because it doesn't feel like you're actually fighting the boss battle. It feels kind of rinse and rather and repeat, and it feels kind of stale. I've been saying stale a lot in this video, but that's what a boss battle, how it doesn't work. Like, if you're doing it over and over again, it's like, this boss is really bad of tactics. Like the Bane boss battle in Arkham Asylum, while it is fun, it's still, you can't get over the feeling that it still has a lot of things that is not going for it. Like, Bane, like, tries to hit you in a wall over and over and over, and it's kind of the same thing over and over again, and it's not that fun when you're doing that. I'm going to bring the Mr. Freeze boss battle up again, since that does pretty much everything right, actually. One of the other reasons why it's so good, and one of the most popular reasons why it does it so right, is because you're not actually using the same tactic. No, you're not. You're actually using a different tactic every time when you're defeating this boss battle. One of the reasons why it's so good is that Mr. Freeze is actually really smart, and he would adapt your tactics. Say, like, you silent takedown him behind, and when you run away, when he recharges his health, he actually adapts to it, so he has a force field around him. Or if you're doing a ledge takedown, he freezes the ledges, or if you're under the grates, he freezes the grates. He adapts to your tactics every time. This makes the boss battle scary and kind of hard because you have to test Batman's strengths and gadgets, and it forces you to have all the gadgets. It forces you to use all of Batman's gadgets without feeling very like a chore to use them. Because in order to stop Mr. Freeze, you have to use your gadgets, your brain, and your tactics. Now, what's good about a boss battle is using your brain. In a video game, it's so fantastic when you actually get to use your brain to defeat this boss battle, and that's what's so special about it. Number 3. Now, I heard slcmof bring this in his video, Was Arkham Knight a Disappointment? And I agreed with him on this. I didn't mind about the lack of any boss battles in Arkham Knight. Like a lot of people don't like the fact that there was no boss battles in Arkham Knight, except for that Arkham Knight boss battle, which was kind of like very like lackluster. But if that's, I understand people not having that many, I understand people being upset not having that many boss battles in Arkham Knight. But I think I know what Rocksteady was trying to do to Batman Arkham Knight. They were trying to make it a movie. Now what I mean by this is that they were trying to make it all cinematics, because if you think about it, a boss battle isn't really cinematic. It's, you're fighting this other person, and if it's gimmicky, it doesn't feel cinematic at all. One of the things that makes it so cinematic, Batman Arkham Knight, is because it's the plot progressions and when the story moves without having to interrupt in a boss fight. Because if I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Batman Arkham Knight really needed any boss battles. It would have been a bit pointless if I'm gonna be honest with you. Sure, no matter how great the boss battle there would be in Arkham Knight, it would still feel meaningless if it's trying to tell a story if it's in a movie, because a boss battle doesn't really fit in a movie. It's more of an interruption and more of sort of like having fun with. And I think Batman Arkham Knight succeeded in telling the story through cinematics and cutscenes, and that was really well done. I think that's one of the things that Rocksteady did really well about Batman Arkham Knight. That's one of the things I think they did really well, so great on you, Rocksteady. But do you want to know how to make the plot progress with a boss battle in it? Let's bring up the Mr. Freeze boss battle again. In Mr. Freeze boss battle, you have, using all these tactics, but if you think about it, let's start with the story. Well, one of the side plots is that Joker has poisoned you with his blood, and Joker will put his blood poison all over the hospitals around Gotham City, and it would make it much more tougher for Batman to handle. And so Batman's on the run with himself poisoned, and he has to find a cure. Then he has to go to Mr. Freeze to find a cure, but Mr. Freeze says it would take a longer process of making a cure for you, and you would not have that much time to get a cure. And then Mr. Freeze finds out, or Batman finds out, that maybe Ra's al Ghul has this blood that can make him cure again. And so in the Iceberg Lounge, Mr. Freeze, or Mr. Cobblepot, Penguin, has this Ra's al Ghul ninja captured, and then she escapes, and then Batman puts a tracker on him to go to the lair of the League of Assassins. When you fight Ra's al Ghul, you basically take his blood from his neck, and you go to Mr. Freeze, and Mr. Freeze makes the cure. But Mr. Freeze has this thing that he can't go over with, his dying wife. Now his wife had a disease, and he's frozen in this sort of tank area, and it's sort of it pulls on your heartstrings a bit, because it's sort of I don't know, very sad in a way. And then Then, like, Mr. Freeze is like, you know what? I'm not taking any orders from you now. I want Nora back. You would have your last word, Batman. And then he gets the cure and smashes it. And Batman says, this isn't the time for negotiations. And Mr. Freeze is like, I think it is. The clown is my wife. Bring her back to me. Batman goes to the locker, where the cure might be there, but Harley Quinn actually stole it. And then Mr. Freeze freezes the locker. And then Batman's like, Freeze, you don't want to do this. And Mr. Freeze is kind of going insane. Well, he's not insane, but he's greedy. He wants Nora back, and he's not giving Batman the cure until Batman saves Nora's life. And he's saying like, oh yes I do. You will bring me back Nora, or you will die. And then the boss battle begins. Amazing. The reason why that works is because Mr. Freeze is having a revenge thing, and he wants to attack Batman, and he's using his brain to do it. That's what fits so well. It fits the boss battle and the progressions, and it feels so amazing and satisfying. I was just so amazed by how the writing fit in with that. Of course, Paul Dini is a great writer, but it's just so amazing how the boss battle, which, when you think about it, it's not cinematic at all, but when it fits through the plot, it's really working on so many different levels. So thank you for watching, people. This is my video on how to make a good boss battle leading up to the season of Infamy. I hope the boss battles in season of Infamy turns out pretty good. If not, I would be a bit disappointed, but I'm sure they're going to solely focus on the boss battles. And you're wondering, why am I in this like studio place? The reason because is that when I was in my room